I'm Captain Carlos Avaliz of the St. Augustine Fire Department. I've been a captain here with the fire department for almost 2 years. I've been in now for 14 years. I've been deployed twice. I just got back from Afghanistan in January. I did some prisoner details in 2003 and 2004 in Iraq, so we had some captives there that I know eventually faced military tribunals. As a captain in the fire service, I have not ever been educated in military tribunals. As a military police officer in the U.S. Army Reserve, I have been. I think it's a really touchy subject for the most part. You have to walk a really fine line between national security and the importance of keeping certain things out of the public eye, and then also being responsible with how you're dealing with prisoners of war or captives from other countries. I think it's controversial at best because in today's day and age, with the amount of transparency that we have and the amount of transparency that the general public wants in terms of their media coverage, I think it's at best controversial, but again, it's all about kind of walking that fine line of being responsible while at the same time understanding that there are, certain missions that need to take place. But I think what it all boils down to is public policy and politics. So I think that just kind of finding that harmony or that balance between the two is what ends up being so difficult. I think depending on the level of the person that you're dealing with, I don't have an issue with it being kept from the public. So if they're following guidelines, if they're not violating any Geneva Convention rules, then at that point I don't have an issue with it. And then you're also talking about taking people that are non-U.S. citizens and are you garnishing them with protections under the U.S. Constitution when they're not really U.S. citizens? So it's just kind of a gray area for me. The best course of action would probably be to get into contact with somebody that would have access to it. It's difficult to get anybody from the Department of Defense probably to issue a statement in regards to it, but I guess you would start with maybe your local representatives or congressmen and kind of work from there, have somebody that has some political clout that would be able to maybe help answer some questions at that point. There's probably folks up on Capitol Hill that sit in on committees that would oversee such things. I think very little of it actually reaches the public eye. I think when you think of guys like Snowden, I think you're going to get a 50-50 split on what people think. Certain folks will look at him as, a hero for freeing all that information, and other people could absolutely view him as a threat to national security. So I'm probably leaning more on the latter part of it because I do feel that certain things need to be kept out of the public eye because that's just how we operate as a government. But really to kind of answer your question more directly, I would tell you that for every one terror threat that you hear about on the news that's stopped, there's probably 20 others that have been stopped early on that you don't hear about. I truly feel that if the general public actually knew how close they came to a terrorist attack every day, that they would be absolutely terrified. To be in Iraq and Afghanistan and see the differences there was pretty amazing. And it's awesome to be a part of something so big. You're really at that point. I've sacrificed 14 years. It's a significant chunk of my life to protecting, our country, and to be able to protect my city and my hometown is even better. So I take a lot of pride in what I do. It's a very, very rewarding career, and every day's different, and never really know what you're going to do or where you're going to go. So yeah, I take an immense amount of pride in that.